became an electrician kind of by accident. So my wife and I were renovating our first home. It had knob and tube wiring, it had old plaster walls that were just crumbling off the lathe. The floors were shot, so it really needed a little bit of everything. So we had to hire an electrician. I was young at the time, not really sure what I wanted to do. Having done carpentry with my father, I kind of liked that and had the basics of that end of it, but I really didn't know much about electricity. Once the electrician was there and we were talking a little bit, he was saying that he had someone that he worked with that was looking for help, and I was kind of looking for something different. And it was just right time, right place, and decided to give it a shot and see how it would go. And 20 plus years later, here we are.
We come into the playroom and it's just
It's a little bit darker.
Yeah, there's no lights.
I love being able to go into different homes, see different things, seeing how it used to be done, seeing how we do it now. I love getting a problem where someone says, we want to do this, we don't know how it can be done. Okay, great. Let's step back, take a look, figure out how we can make this work.
We do have a switch,
Okay.
but it doesn't really do anything though. Would love to kind of fix that up a little bit.
There are no shortcuts. You do it right from step one. Use the proper materials, the proper techniques. This isn't something that you kind of do halfway. Everything just really has to be perfect. And that's a lot of what drew me to it. I remember watching This Old House as a kid on Saturday mornings, and at the time seeing Bob Vila. Having no idea that I'd ever get to be part of it, it's just unbelievable. We were working with one contractor at the time that ended up getting a TOH project. It's in Essex, Mass, and we happened to be his electrician at the time and got a chance to work on it and see what the show is about and how it all works.
Looks nice and historic, the right proportions. Did you have to modify it at all?
So we're just getting it ready to hang by installing the chain, hang the fixture at the right height in the cupola,
Got it.
put some LED lamps in so the homeowner doesn't have to climb up there too often to change them, hopefully.
That is not an easy place to get to.
And we're just getting ready to install it now.
When all was said and done, I thought it was a blast, and it was really just kind of a feather in the cap. You know, it's like, hey, I got to be a part of being on This Old House.
Oh yeah, what do you think?
I think it looks good.
So do I. Homeowner's gonna be thrilled with that. Nice work, Heath.
Thanks.
Probably 2 years later, the producer from This Old House called and said, hey, we have another project. We're looking for an electrician. Your name came up. Do you think you'd be interested? I was floored. I'm like, really? You actually remember even who I was?
So just regular line voltage coming in, and then does it have some sort of a driver inside here?
Correct. The actual LED driver is part of the trim assembly that goes in.
We got to work on the mid-century modern in Brookline. It was really a good experience. Not thinking anything about Ask, they had a need for an electrician on the show that I was unaware of, and they approached me, thankfully. They asked, hey, would you be interested in possibly doing a couple of house calls? Of course, how would I not?
So we want to put an overhead light. We'd like to put a chandelier over our table.
Okay, I think we can do that. Let me grab some tools, take a look at what we have, and we'll go from there.
Awesome, great, thank you.
Thanks.
And we started that following season, and I've been fortunate enough to be here ever since.
This is a reproduction push button to match what you have in the other bedroom. The good thing is this reproduction matches all of today's modern safety standards and gives us the same look that you have over there that we're looking for.
Love it.
So we want the hook to wrap around the switch clockwise.
It's important to highlight the job on the show because it's really one of the critical components of any house. Everyone has to use it in one way or another. I can understand people being intimidated by electrical work. I'll admit, our first house, I was too. I get it can be scary. It's an unknown, it's something you can't see. So it's very important to show how it's done, how it's installed, how it's done correctly and safely, and that you don't need to be nervous about it, and that it's something that you can tackle. If you're considering being an electrician, I would say go for it. Everything's heading that way. We have electric vehicles, we have solar fields, we have more and more technology that's going to need electricians. And there are fewer and fewer kids that seem to be coming into the trade. So we're gonna have less bodies capable of doing the work and a higher demand. A ton of potential, really unlimited potential. You can do whatever you want to do with it. People might find it surprising that on my day off, I actually like to be a little adventurous, surprisingly. I don't like to lay around. I love to go out on the motorcycle. We have a couple different ones that my wife and I'll go for a ride on one. If I had more time, I'd love to go skydiving more. I've done it before. It's an absolute blast. I really, really love doing those kind of adrenaline junkie things. On an average Sunday, we'll go for a bike ride, grab lunch somewhere, taking the dog for a walk. Olivia, she's a 5-year-old. We were able to adopt her a few years ago. Just the sweetest, sweetest little dog. It still makes no sense how any of this happened. I'm incredibly grateful to have done what I've been able to do so far. I'm most proud of being able to even be here, to be honest. The fact that I get to work with the best of the best, I just consider myself so incredibly lucky. It's just unbelievable.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.